Hey, what's going, y'all? It is yours truly once again. A lot of times when you hear somebody talk, they talk about a lot about their life. They tend to reflect or have a retrospect of things, if you will. And a lot of times you'll hear someone say, I've done a complete 180 or a 360 with my life. And usually this means that person has turned their life around. What I'm about to talk about is something not really out of the norm, but pretty much still highlighting that statement of doing a 180 or 360. So simply put, this is nothing deep I'm about to say, but I still think for some people it could be, even though I'm about to explain it very simply. Here we go. Now, you'll hear somebody tell you that they've done a complete 360, and then you'll hear another person tell that person, well, if you've done a 360, that just means you got back to the same place that you once were in. However, that's true, but there's more to that statement. If they get back to the place they once were in, what if they came back a better person, a stronger person for that situation? Now, it's one thing if a person gets back to where they once was and they still haven't become a better person. But for others, they do become better. And don't we call this a full circle in life? Sometimes you make a full circle. But most would rather not go with the 360 idea. Most people would rather go with the 180 idea. And basically, the 180 idea is that if your life took a complete 180, that means that you ended up going in a different direction. So that's why most people would rather say that than to say they came back to square one, even though you can obviously come back to a certain place better and stronger. But here's the flip side. Here's the flip side to the 180. What if it has a dark side to it? What if you took a 180, you went in the opposite direction, but it ended up the opposite direction? Basically, sometimes in life, you don't have to take a 180. Sometimes you could take less than a 180, which is, you could take like a 45 or a 90, or you sometimes have to take more than a 180, but less than a 360. So let's say a 270. It depends on the way your life is going, but life is not limited to just a 180 or even a 360, whether less than or more than even a 360 itself. It just depends on the way your life goes. Sometimes you have to end up at the same place more than one time in life, depending on the path that you take, the trails. See, a lot of people think that in life is about moving forward. Yes, life is about moving forward. However, you never know where that path is going to take you. It could take you right back to where you started, but nevertheless, you're still moving forward. Like I said, I wasn't going to go too deep on this topic because it definitely can go deeper. But simply put, treat your life no different than a compass based on the way that arrow points, based on the way that arrow tends to rotate itself and where it ends up. But the beautiful thing about a compass is that it's not necessarily going to stay in that same fixed position. Rarely is the line straight, and rarely is your life that straight. But at least you get to where you got to go, no matter how many times you have to get there or go through a certain place. But you're still moving forward versus moving backwards. Now that's a different conversation. Signing out. Thanks for tuning in.